eyes. I don't know if you can see that at all.
Francisco Flores Evangelista, better known as Rico, was born and raised on Guam. Off-island since 2002, a strong desire to come back to the place he called home took over.
Doing my artwork there, the job was good that I was working at, but the artwork seemed to take over, and I wanted to do that full-time, so what better place than home?
His goal was to honor the island heritage by handcrafting creative artwork with various platforms to produce a unique product every time. Home for over a month, Evangelista is hoping to share with others his time and talent. As a young boy, Rico watched his grandfather, Manuel Evangelista, and attributes much of his talent to him. In fact, Rico comes from a very artistic family.
Everyone jokes and says it's in the genes, it's in the blood, but my grandfather used to carve coconuts, sell it at the flea market when it was in Harmon. He also did work for the Jigo church during the fiesta, so he would do the signboards on the entrances. My brother was into art as well, so I think I just grew up around it. In high school, in Simon Sanchez, I was one of the students that helped paint the library when we did several scenes and do artwork throughout the whole school.
Evangelista jokingly says that when he was younger, it started off with tracing his brother's drawings and going to school and passing it off as his own work. But soon after, he started to experiment with colored pencils and got really into it. He specializes in wood burning, something he stumbled upon one day at the craft store in Maryland.
When I went back to Maryland in 2002, I went to a Guam Society of America function, and there was vendors there, but all they had was food and some clothes and things like that, and there was no art that was there. So I was curious and asked them about it, and they said, sure, I can do something. So I did art. I used to do foam board here, so I did a little bit of those with the Guam design and Guam seal, and they loved it. I was at the craft store trying to get some more materials, and I saw a book about wood burning. I read the entire book at the craft store and said, I'm going to wood burn. And it basically took off from there and made up my own techniques and just kept trial and error until I got something that was my style of art.
Looking at his work, you will notice images of the beautiful Serena, and he explains why.
There was a coffee table at a thrift shop. It was just a wood coffee table, and I saw, it's kind of corny, people say, but I saw the image of Serena and how she would lay out and how it would burn very nicely with that. I did that and fell in love with that image, and since then I just kept doing Serenas, and I seem to have this, I guess I associate it with Guam. The Serena is Guam. She represents the island of Guam, the beauty. And all my artwork is Serena doing different things, or like she's finding out that she just turned into the fish, or she's beautiful, or she's basking in the sun. So I stuck with that, and everyone seems to love the way that I kind of portray it.
Evangelista says that he was known for his Serena images on the East Coast, and that his artwork was popular not just with the Chamorros stateside, but also those who appreciated art and the wood burning technique.
It's kind of a beautiful thing to know that the art is appreciated no matter what type of art. I did a Serena, and my girlfriend, she fell in love with that one, didn't want to sell it, but we had to sell it. Somebody who went to Hawaii saw someone who wood burns in Hawaii, saw my work, and they were just amazed, and they decided to buy that. They were non-Chamorros, and it was just a good feeling. They understood and they knew about the whole Serena story, so it was very nice.
You can consider Rico an artistic jack of all trades, doing it all.
Well, I started out with foam. I've since then now just predominantly wood, but I do everything, and anything that has to do with art and my hands, I'll do it. I've done everything from the foam board to airbrushing shirts to even designing hats and designing t-shirts, even baking cakes, gourmet cakes, and designing the cakes as well. So I have to keep my hands busy with anything that has to do with art. I enjoy the final product.
However, he says that he enjoys working with wood, as there's something about the way the pen works and smooths out. A typical piece, depending on the complexity and the size, can take anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. For example, the exquisite Serena piece he graciously donated to the Edward M. Calvo Cancer Foundation's Art, Food, and Wine Festival recently took from start to finish about 7 hours. Evangelista says one of his biggest inspirations is master EFIT carver Robert Taitano, who is also his uncle.
I've never spent time with him ever since growing up, but it was just the knowledge that he was there. When I was in Maryland doing the wood burning, a lot of people asking about EFIT. Can you get EFIT? Can you do this? Can you do that? And so I go online trying to find out about EFIT, and he's all over the place. So a few days when I arrived there, that's one of the first things I needed to do was visit his shop, introduce myself, and just thank him for his art and the inspiration pretty much. He actually even gave me some EFIT to practice and said we can collaborate, do some wood burning, some carving together. So I just think he encapsulates the whole Chamorro spirit. He wants to teach anyone who wants to learn. So it's not a matter about, you know, what's mine, what's yours, and, you know, making money. It's about trying to just you feel good about the art, you feel good about your island, feel good about the culture. So why not share it?
One of the reasons why Evangelista returned home was to take part in the big Buy Local movement, which continues to thrive. He has a strong conviction to inspire local artists to produce all kinds of art from every era of Guam's past to present, modern or ancient, and to get these crafts and works of art to replace the items that say Guam but are made elsewhere.
I've been to several stores that it says Guam items, but you turn it over and it's made in somewhere else, Malaysia and Philippines, and which is all good if that's what some tourists want to buy, but I want to try to promote my work and say that there's local art, there's local products other than food products that people can get from Guam.
And although he doesn't have a place to set up shop just yet, you can find him every Wednesday in front of Taitano's EFIT shop at the Chamorro Village, and he also has a website. As for what he would say to those aspiring artists or those wanting to contribute to the local art scene,
the biggest thing for me is art. Art is successful if it makes the person who created it feel good. If you feel good about doing it, why not? There's opportunities to make money for something that you enjoy doing, but don't burn yourself out. Don't think about just the one-sided thing, like you just want to make money. You want to think about sharing your art and sharing what your skills are and being pleased with your products.
If you would like to know more about the artistic platforms that Evangelista creates, you can go online to www.pacificwba.com or call 653-1761.